Maybe they want up front. Or ask them to see if they can move the church someplace else. It's distracting to hang them down.
Is it all right if we begin the reading of the recommendations while we quietly pass out the voting cards? Is that all right with the body? All right. I'm glad to present Bishop Seth Larte, who will read these recommendations.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Presiding Officer. Thank you very much, Mr. Presiding Officer. Members of the 51st session of this General Conference, you have in your packets copies of the quadrennial address to this body from the Board of Bishops. Prior to this time, we had some recommendations which I hope you have reviewed. There are two additionals that I'm going to read first, and then I'll come back and read the entirety of the recommendations, and then this House will determine its disposition. Recommendation for eligibility for the office of bishop in the African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church. It is our position that the office of bishop is the highest office of service in our denomination. Presently, the requirements or criteria for this elevated office of service have minimum requirements for ministers with aspirations. Because the educational requirements are not specific enough, and because some ministers have done their due diligence to complete an accredited college, SACS or the equivalent, with an earned bachelor's degree and an accredited theological degree, MDiv or its equivalent, by an accredited association of theological schools, ATS, or the equivalent, we hereby recommend that all persons seeking the office of bishop in the African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church must present with their elders' orders, their application, their fee, and an official transcript from their institutions of higher learning, or a copy of their official degree. Such transcripts and/or degrees must have been by SACS and ATS or an equivalent accrediting agency. Additionally, the candidate must present a certified copy of his or her birth certificate. The last one before I read the entirety. In this session, in this season of racial tension, white supremacy, misinformation, and voter suppression, we call on the Committee for Social Justice to bring to this 51st General Conference a recommendation that speaks to our response to a political climate that is supportive of voter suppression. Also, we request a recommendation be brought that encourages and support our active engagement and participation in promoting a climate of healthy living by taking the vaccination in this climate of COVID-19. Let me then go back now to the beginning of the recommendations. In order to give evidence or credence and importance to the quadrennial theme, a workbook has been created to give further directions on how to employ the various components of the theme. We recommend all congregations use the workbook in an effort to enhance the ministry of the congregation. Because of the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, several congregations have experienced persons connecting to the church through internet technology and are not in the vicinity of the church. We recommend congregation embrace appropriate technology to reach a greater number of people and appoint online class leaders to maintain proper contact as well as offer spiritual formation. Number 3, to help provide strategic directions for our church, we recommend the Board of Bishops to appoint a commission on congregation restoration and expansion, whose work, among others, is to provide general directions and logistic support for the development of a strategic growth plan for our church. This general strategic layout should cover the period 2020 to 2040. Under that, we further recommend that each bishop appoints a commission who shall develop a strategic growth plan for each annual conference based on the general denominational strategic layout provided by the General Commission and taking into consideration the context and peculiar needs of the said conference. This just serves as the thrust for congregation restoration and expansion within each annual conference. Under that, we recommend that the development of the strategic growth layout by the General Commission should be completed within a year and for submission at the Connectional Council meeting of July 2022. Each annual conference should also complete the conference strategic growth plan by July 2023, with the first progress report brought to the General Conference in 2024. C, commission, who shall ensure that the particularities of the strategic growth plan are compiled with at the conference, district, and local levels, and a progress report attached as an appendix to the bishop's quadrennial report. It is recommended that the General Conference would endorse the establishment of the Department of Health and Wellness. A special commission is requested to devise a proposal for the implementation of this department to the Board of Bishops in February of 2022, with plans for the establishment to the 52nd General Conference. We recommend the establishment of a commission to explore strategic means to economically undergird the ministries of this denomination beyond the method of assessments, tithes, and offering. The conclusion of this exploration should be reported to the Board of Bishops meeting in 2022. And we read the first one, and do I need to read it again? Number 6, okay. Recommendation for eligibility for the office of bishop in the African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church. It is our position that the office of bishop is the highest office of service in our denomination. Presently, the requirements or criteria for this elevated office of service have minimum requirements for ministers with aspirations. Because the educational requirements are not specific enough, and because some ministers have done their due diligence to complete an accredited college, SACS or the equivalent, with an earned bachelor's degree and an accredited theological degree, MD or its equivalent, by an accredited Association of Theological Schools, ATS, or the equivalent, we hereby recommend that all persons seeking the office of bishop in the African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church must present with their elders' order, their application, their fee, and an official transcript from their institutions of higher learning or a copy of their official degree. Such transcripts and or degrees must have been by SACS, an ATS, or an official degree, or an equivalent accrediting agency. Additionally, the candidate must present a certified copy of his or her birth certificate. Finally, in this session, or in this season of racial tension, white supremacy, misinformation, and voter suppression, we call on the Committee for Social Justice to bring to this 51st General Conference a recommendation that speaks to our response to a political climate that is supportive of a voter suppression. Also, we request a recommendation be brought that encourages and support our active engagement and participation in promoting a climate of healthy living by taking the vaccination in this climate of COVID-19. Respectfully submitted, the Board of Bishops.
Mr. President, Mike 3.
Mike 3.
Mike 3. I have a question on our procedure. Are you asking that we would take up these recommendations as a committee as a whole, or a normal process would it be go to interfacing committees?
We're going to vote on each recommendation.
But we're going to act as a committee of the whole. Do we have to vote on that?
I don't,
Because that's different than the procedures for enacting legislation.
the general conference is going to vote on these, right? Yeah, the general conference is going to vote on
Well,
these.
do we need a motion that we vote on it as a committee of the whole?
I'm advised that the answer is no. We have heard these 7 recommendations. Are there any questions concerning the first recommendation? To adopt. Okay. You've heard the first recommendation concerning congregations' use of the workbook. Is there a motion to adopt?
Mike 7,
Mike 7,
Curtis Walker. I move the adoption.
I'm sorry, I was asked to ask that when you identify yourself, not only indicate your Episcopal district, but also your annual conference.
Curtis Walker, Ohio Annual Conference, Mid-Atlantic Episcopal District.
Thank you. Is there a second to that motion?
Mike 4,
Mike 4,
M. Luther Hill, North Carolina Conference, Eastern North Carolina Episcopal District. I second the motion.
it has been moved and seconded that this first recommendation be adopted. Are you ready for the question? Are you ready for the question? All in favor say aye. All in favor raise the green card, which means go.
Chairman,
Yes.
Claude Shuford, Central Alabama.
What mic? What mic?
All of our
What mic?
10, Mr. Chairman.
Mic 10.
All of our people don't have cards yet.
All right. Identify, is that the, what conference?
Alabama, Florida Episcopal District.
And while we continue, can someone try to make sure, how many do not have cards? It's a heap of them. So can we, but those who are in favor, raise your green card or your hand. You may put them down. Is the monitor monitoring the virtual? All right. Have they had an opportunity to vote? Okay. Now, those who are opposed to this motion, raise the red card or raise your hand. The chair rules that the motion passes. The recommendation passes. Now, the second recommendation concerning congregations embracing appropriate technology. Is there a motion to adopt?
Mike 2,
Mike 2.
Harriet McAvaney, Kentucky Conference, Midwest Episcopal District. I move that we adopt recommendation number 2.
Thank you.
Mike 7,
Mike 7.
R.J. Chandler, Philadelphia, Baltimore Annual Conference, Mid-Atlantic Episcopal District. I second.
Thank you. It has been moved and seconded that this second recommendation be adopted. Are you ready for the question? I see no unreadinesses. All in favor say aye. All in favor raise your green, your green card or your hand. You may put them down. And what about the
19 virtual, yes.
And those who are opposed, raise the red card or your hand.
2 virtual, no.
The green cards have it. Is that what? That sounds funny, though. I want to say the ayes have it, but I'm about to say the green cards have it. And that recommendation is adopted. The third recommendation concerns a commission on congregational restoration and expansion. Is there a motion concerning this recommendation?
Mike 8.
Mike 8.
Sandra Crowder, Virginia Conference Mid-Atlantic Episcopal District. I move for the adoption of recommendation number 3.
Thank you, and thank you. I think that's orange. It looks orange to me. All right. Is there a second?
Mike 9.
Mike 9.
Moses Thompson, Southwestern Delta, second.
It has been moved and second that this third recommendation be adopted. You've heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? Did I hear unreadiness, or did I?
Mike.
Okay,
Mike
go
4.
to a mic. Okay.
Mike 3, Mr. Chairman.
Mike 3.
Mike 3, Malcolm Byrd, New York Conference, Northeastern Episcopal District. I have a technical question regarding this recommendation. Is the conceptual framework of this commission different than the Board of Church Growth and Development? That's my question. Is there a specific difference between establishing this commission and what the work of church growth and development is already charged to do by this General Conference?
Bishop Larte.
Very good question, Brother Malcolm. If you read this very carefully, this is intended, let me read it again so you hear, to help provide strategic directions for our church. We recommend that the Board of Bishops to appoint a commission on congregation restoration and expansion. And so we're talking about restoration and expansion. Once we have explored what is to be restored or expanded, then church growth comes along and implements. See, that's the way it works.
Any more unreadiness or any more questions? You have to say your mic, because I...
Number 6.
Mic 6.
Renata Lee, Eastern North Carolina Episcopal Area, North Carolina Conference. My question is, will this commission that will be put together fall under the umbrella of church growth?
That's very, very possible. That is very, very possible. So as to have a locus for operation. Yeah.
Any other unreadiness?
Mike 1.
Mike 1.
Mike 1. Ruth Young, New York Conference, Northeastern Episcopal District. Are we voting on all 3 subsections under this at the same time, or are we breaking it out?
Yes, we're voting on it all unless somebody makes a motion that you want to do it. Break it out. So right now, it's together. Any other unreadiness? Are you ready for the question? All in favor, raise your green cards or your hand. Thank you. Virtual?
14 yes.
Those who are opposed to this, to the adoption of this recommendation, raise your red card or your hand. In the judgment of the chair, the green cards have it. 14. Can you repeat the virtual again? Doctor, can you repeat the virtual again?
Virtual was 29 yes, 11 no.
All right. 29 yes, 11 no. All right. Yes, I need to hear Mike.
Mike 3, Greg
Yes.
Smith, Northeast Episcopal
Yes.
District, New York Annual Conference. I call for a division in the House.
All right, what this means is this will be a rising vote. That's what the division is. Those in favor of adopting this third recommendation, please let it be known by standing. Yeah, we have the virtual already, so we have those numbers. But if those in favor of this recommendation, please let it know by standing. Thank you. You may be seated. Those who are opposed, please stand. I still think the ayes have it, but we can do it. Okay.
We'll do Marshall.
I think the ayes have it and the green have it. But if you want a counting vote, you can make a motion for that.
Mr. Chairman, Mike number 3.
Yes.
Greg Smith, New York Annual Conference, Northeast Episcopal District. I call for a count.
All right. We need a second. It's been properly moved in second that we have a counting vote. All of those who are in favor of a counting vote, all in favor of a counting vote, let it be known by raising the green card. I'm gonna look real good this time. Thank you very much. And those opposed to a counting vote, raise the red card. Those opposed to a counting vote, raise the red card. I definitely say the green cards have it. All right, marshals, come and help us with the counting. Marshals from each Episcopal district, please come. So we're going to ask you to count the votes in your Episcopal district. Is that right? Count the votes in your Episcopal district. So you're going to count. Once these persons stand, because we're doing a rising vote, we're going to ask you to count the people who are standing in your Episcopal district. Are all the marshals in place? Is there an Episcopal district whose marshal is not in place? All in favor of adopting this third recommendation, please stand and let your marshal count you. Those who are in favor of this recommendation, please stand and continue to stand until the marshal in your area. Marshals, we need you to write down the numbers of those who voted in the affirmative. And now, have all the marshals had an opportunity to count the persons in their Episcopal districts? Now, those who are opposed to this third recommendation, you may stand, and make sure you stand until you are counted by the marshal in your area. Yes, please count. You got to count the opposed. Oh, that was quick. Have all the marshals had the opportunity to count all those who have voted to oppose? Once you have your numbers, we need you to write it down and then bring it unto me. Sadler. Supposed to bring them. But I'm gonna need you to add. I'm talking about after I read them all. I need you to bring them to me. All right, because all didn't put their Episcopal district, we're gonna make sure we have 12. I want you to count them for me. Count these. Just hand them to me. 1, 2, it's Alabama, Florida. 3, Western. 4, Central South Africa. 5 East and West Africa. 6, 7, 8 Southwest Delta. 9 Mid-Atlantic. 10. That's 10, 11. That's one. What's that? $12. It's up here. All right. I'm just going to read the in favor and the opposed. In favor, 26. Opposed, 33. In favor, 14. Opposed, 22. In favor, 25. Opposed, 26. What is that? In favor, 40. Opposed, 29. In favor, 47. Opposed, 23. In favor, 8. Opposed, 22. In favor, 13. Opposed, 8. In favor, 3. Opposed, 20. In favor, 7. Opposed, 5. In favor, 36. Opposed, 8. In favor, 4. Opposed, 4. And I'm trying to understand this one.
Virtual. I've got it.
Well, I'm trying to understand this last one.
Did you do that?
Can you help me?
It doesn't say what's going on.
No.
It's Southwest and Delta. Whoever gets Southwest and Delta, they gotta come up here and tell us.
Southwest and Delta, please come up. The marshal. What's all those other?
That's not mine.
It says Southwest.
Yeah. In favor 16, opposed 2. That's what I didn't write that.
Okay. In favor, 16. Opposed, 2. That might have been what. I can give those to you. And then the virtual account, can you say that again, Doctor?
The virtual count is, you want me to give it now or give it separate?
We're ready for you to give the virtual account.
Virtual count, West Africa.
No, the virtual, okay. You're going to give the total.
You want me to give the total?
The total of the virtual count, right?
Virtual count, 53 yes, 13 no.
53 yes, 13 no. And you're going to add that to the numbers we just gave you. Did you do the math too? Okay. What'd you call?
Mike 9,
Mike 9.
Bishop, Kenneth Evans from Southwest Delta. We're hot in here. Can you have them turn back on the air condition, please?
I feel you, because I feel you. You got the total? Oh, he's still carrying the one. I feel you.
292 yes, 215 no.
292 yes. And how many no? 215 no. The motion is carried. Number 3 is adopted. Now, the 4th recommendation concerns the Department of Health and Wellness. Somebody turn on that air conditioning. Health and Wellness. Thank you. Thank you for calling and sharing. Is there a motion concerning this recommendation that has been butchered? Is there a motion?
Mike 1.
Mike 1.
Eric Leak, Michigan Annual Conference, Midwest Episcopal District. I move the adoption of this resolution.
Thank you.
Recommendation.
Is there a second?
Mike 8.
Mike 8.
Kenneth Hines Sr., Blue Ridge Conference, Piedmont Episcopal District. I second.
It has been moved and seconded that this 4th recommendation be adopted. Are you ready for the question?
Not ready. Mike 3.
Mike 3.
Mike 8.
And Mike 8. First, Mike 9. First Mike 3, then Mike 8.
Mike
then,
7.
Then Mike 9, then Mike 7, and then let's see where we are. Thank you.
Mike 3, Northeast Episcopal District, Greg Smith. Question. It appears that we're reestablishing a department that we once had. Yeah. Is there a budgetary number with this department? Is the persons who are going to be responsible for the department a general officer or not? When we submit resolutions from the annual conference, we have to have, is there budget implication? Is there one in this?
If you read the recommendation, we are proposing that this be studied. We're not asking you to do it right in this minute. That can be answered as we put this commission together to do that kind of work and bring the results of that finding.
Okay. Is there a budgetary associated with this commission?
Not in this general session.
All right, I think I said Mike 9, 8. I think I said 8. 8 and then
Mike
9.
8.
Yes.
Renee Felton Pullen, Mid-Atlantic Episcopal Area, Philadelphia and Baltimore Conference. My question is similar. You're asking for a commission to study this. Where are the finances coming from for that commission to meet and travel and report?
Again, that's a very, very good question. And that's why we are proposing the establishment of a commission. The commission's job is to come back with all of those questions answered.
If we establish a commission tonight, there are fees and budgetary associated with that, and that is my question. If we pass this tonight, how are we financing that?
I don't believe you see anything that calls for finance at this moment. You are implying.
Bishop,
Yes.
excuse me. When we have a commission, and in the past, they have to meet, you want them to report to you in February. The members of the commission are going to say who is paying for it. I just
Right.
wanted to be clear before I voted up or down how or what the thought is to pay for this.
I mean, if you want a realistic answer, in this climate, you can stay right home on a Zoom or a telephone call and make this meeting happen.
Thank you, sir. I needed you to say that.
Thank you.
Mike 9.
Bishop, I think my question, Evelina Huggins, Philadelphia and Baltimore, Mid-Atlantic Episcopal District. I think my question has been answered without being answered. Dr. Greg Smith asked, how is this different from what was previously in place? Dr. Bernard Sullivan, I believe. So if it's a commission to study, how is what we're studying any different than what we had previously?
Well, the reality is somewhere in the Bible, God even asks that we be healthy. And if you really want to know the truth, considering us as a people with all of the precondition and health challenges that we have, for us not to have a structure in this denomination that focuses on the health of our people, it is a glaring misunderstanding of the need for us to be healthy spiritually, emotionally, and physically. And that's the reason why, the truth is this: there are resources out there. And if we explore this properly, this can take care of itself.
Bishop, no disrespect, sir, but the question is, how is this different? Not whether, I agree with you, we need it, but how is it different than what we previously had? That's the question.
Well, here again, if you look at previous time when we had the department with a budget of $35,000, what is $35,000 to run a Department of Health for a denomination with 1.2 million members on 26 some countries? So initially, my sister, we didn't do a good job of investing in our health. And what we are saying now is let's be careful and take seriously the need to have a health department. And how do we, it could be that we will go back and look at some of what we had before, but this time when we establish it, we will not destroy it.
The chair recognizes Mike 7.
Timothy Freeman, Philadelphia, Baltimore Conference, Mid-Atlantic Episcopal District. Same questions that was asked previously. Generally knowing that most commissions do require some type of resources to begin. Just considering the amount of information, the climate that we're in now, we know we need it, but a lot of churches are really needing relief in other areas. So with this department being consolidated before, we just want to be really clear that while this will not impact until the 52nd quadrennial session, there's still some work and resources, whether it be virtual, that may have budgetary implications for now in order to move forward. Is that correct, what we're hearing?
What we are asking you to do, and I'm so glad that this pandemic showed us that technology can be employed to do a lot of the business that we are doing. We have had annual conferences, check-up meetings, Board of Bishops meetings, using the virtual means. And all we are saying is use what we have to get what we want. And this technology right now is our best route.
Mike 9.
Mike 9.
Robert F. Kemp, Oregon, Washington Annual Conference, Western Episcopal District. Bishop, with all due respect, I believe this is not an issue that we should be operating on at this time to try and establish, to support something that hasn't been prepared. I like the idea, but I think you should go through the regular process of providing a resolution that explores cost and structure and what we're going to do. Voting to support it before it's been reported makes it a little bit difficult. And I see we have a resolution recommendation number 5, which you did not read, that talks about another commission. It looks like this is going to be ongoing to support something ahead of time before it's going through the process of developing a resolution and having a valid proposal that we can act on.
Mr. Chair, you want me to respond?
Yes, if you so desire.
I appreciate your comment, my brother, and what we are saying is that to come to this general conference with budgetary line items would imply that we've done some work prior to getting here. And what we're asking this general conference to do is to allow us to establish a commission that will go and do the work to explore all of the possibilities and come back to us and tell us, if you want a health department, here's what it's going to cost you, here's what you're going to need, location, people, et cetera, and if we can afford it, we'll go ahead and do it. If we cannot afford it, we won't do it. That's all we are saying. We want the best minds to look at it.
Mr. Chairman.
I need to hear Mike 10.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to offer Claude Shuford, Central Alabama, offer an amendment that the commission be held only through technological means so that we can accomplish both. That means there's no expense, we can still have the commission.
Is there a second to that amendment? Is there a second to that amendment? I need to hear a mic.
Reverend Grayson, Allegheny Conference, Mid-Atlantic, I second that.
Is that, what mic? What mic?
Mic 7.
Mic 7.
Mic 10.
It's been properly moved and second to amend the motion regarding recommendation 4 by indicating and making sure that right now those meetings are virtual.
That's correct.
Only. That is the amendment. Are you ready for the question concerning the amendment?
Question.
All right, I need to hear a mic. And the person who made the motion concerning the amendment has the first opportunity. Did you want to speak to it? Was it Dr. Shuford? Did you want to speak to it? Whoever makes that motion has the first.
Mr. Chairman, you said it very clearly. It would be virtual only.
All right. Any unreadiness? Are you ready for the question? Now we're voting on whether to amend this recommendation to make it virtual only. Are you ready for that question? All in favor of amending this recommendation, let it be known by raising the green cards of life. I'm looking good. I'm looking to the left. I'm looking to the right. Thank you. Did we get to virtual? We don't have to say it now.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm waiting.
Have they had enough time? Okay, great. Those who are opposed to the amendment, that's what we're voting on, right? The amendment, raise the red card or your hand. I'm looking all over, searched all over. Couldn't find no red. All right?
Bishop.
Okay, I see a red. All right, the
Bishop.
motion to amend
Bishop.
passes.
Mr. Chair,
I need to hear is that a?
I'm behind you.
Okay. Sadler. Okay.
Yes, virtual 22 yes.
Okay, thank you so
4
much.
no.
Thank you so much. Virtual, say that again.
Virtual 22 yes, 4 no.
Okay, thank you. Now we're going to, the question is on the recommendation as amended, which says that this commission will function virtually so that there are limited or no expenses. Are you ready for that question, the main question as amended? You ready? All in favor say aye. All in favor raise your green card. I gotta get it. I gotta get used to that. Hold them up. Got to give the virtual opportunity. All right, thank you. Did the virtual get a chance?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
As amended for 18 yes, 3 no.
Okay, those who are opposed to this motion as amended, raise the red card or your hand if you don't have a card. And the motion is adopted. Thank you. We go to
Mr. President.
Yes.
Point of order.
I need to hear
Mike 3.
Mike 3.
Greg Smith, New York Area Conference, Northeast Episcopal District. This, in order to revisit the motion that was passed on the Commission on Church Growth, and we want to introduce an amendment the same way we did here on technology, what would you have to have voted on, yes or no, in order to put that motion?
To reconsider?
To amend the motion that's already passed, to do the same thing we did here, that we use technology.
You can't amend it after it's passed.
You can go back. Can I make a new motion to revisit it?
Reconsider.
Reconsider, I'm sorry.
But you have to have voted.
Voted what? Which way? Yea or nay?
You have to have voted on the side to adopt it in order to have a motion to reconsider.
Nobody wants to do that? All right.
All right. Now, we're going to now consider the fifth recommendation concerning the commission to explore strategic means to economically undergird the ministries of the denomination.
Mike 3.
Mike 3.
Would the same apply for this recommendation as for the previous?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. My name is Charlene Mapson, Cape Fear Conference, Eastern North Carolina Episcopal District. Thank you.
I want to understand your question, please, Reverend Mapson.
Yes, because once again, it seems that a commission is being formed, and the question was raised in the previous recommendation about funding and or technologically meeting.
Yeah, that was an amendment to that recommendation.
Right. Would that be the same consideration?
It can only be done if an amendment is made.
Right,
but
sir.
first we got to get a motion.
Right, sir.
On the main.
So I make that motion, sir, as I'm standing here.
You have to move that.
I move that, sir. I move that. So move, sir.
Okay. What we need is a motion to adopt this recommendation.
I move that this recommendation be adopted, sir.
Is there a second?
Second, Ruth Young, Mike 1, New York Conference, Northeastern Episcopal District. Second.
It has been moved and seconded that this fifth recommendation be adopted. Are you ready for the question?
Not ready. So is this at the point?
This
is where I would like to make the amendment, sir.
Go right ahead.
I would like to amend the motion to state that this will be a virtual commission. Is that correct, sir? The correct wording?
I think I have clear understanding of what you're saying. So
yes. Sir. Yes, sir. That is my motion, sir.
You're saying what he said. No, we can't do that.
Yes, sir.
Is there a second to this amendment?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I need to hear
Mike 7.
Mike 7.
Reverend Grayson, Allegheny Conference, Mid-Atlantic. I second that amendment.
Now, it has been moved and seconded to amend this fifth recommendation by making it also, this commission, function virtually. Are you ready for the motion to amend?
Yes.
Are you ready for that question?
Yes.
All in favor of amending this fifth recommendation to function virtually? Okay, you knew what I was going to ask you to do, didn't you? Raise your green card. All right. All right. All right. All right. Thank you very much. And did we give the virtual a chance? Did they get a chance?
It's coming right now.
Okay, we'll wait a moment.
28
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Now, those who are opposed to the amendment can raise the red card, or raise your hand if you don't have a card.
Virtual 3 no.
All right, the amendment is adopted. And now we're dealing with the fifth recommendation as amended, which now says it must function through virtual means. Are you ready for this main question?
Yes.
If you are, say question.
Question.
Those in favor, raise the green card. Thank you very much. Give the virtual an opportunity. Those who are opposed can raise your red card or your hand. All right. This fifth recommendation has been adopted as amended.
Mike 7.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chair.
Mike 3.
Mike 3.
Greg Smith, New York Annual Conference, North. I move that all commissions established by this general conference be virtual.
That was you can't do that. In the spirit,
It's out of order.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, Mike 7.
Mike 7.
I understand it, but in the spirit of how 4 and 5 was amended, I trust that we would look at in the same manner the other ones in the same fashion of virtual meetings for these commissions.
Yeah, those have passed.
I understand.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
I understand. I said in the spirit.
Say that again.
In the spirit of the amendment of number 4 and 5, I trust that as we go back, even though they've passed, that we look at the same way of treating the others in the spirit of the body. It feels like we're very conscious of cost and of technology, and I trust that we can do all those commissions.
Are you speaking of number 3?
Yes, that is correct.
Uh-huh. No. We can only do that with recommendation 3 if someone who voted for it,
Mike 9.
wants to move that it be reconsidered. Mike 9.
Reverend Robert F. Kemp, Oregon Washington Conference, Western Episcopal District. I voted for the original motion on number 3. I move for reconsideration of number 3 to include that the commission will operate.
No, you have to first move to
I move
reconsider.
for reconsideration.
All right, is there a second?
Mike 4.
Mike 4.
Doug Maven, New Jersey Conference, Northeast Episcopal District, second motion.
It has been properly moved in second to reconsider the recommendation 3, right? And what's necessary? What is required is a majority vote to reconsider. What that does is it allows us to reopen it and revisit it. Are you ready for the question to reconsider? All in favor all in favor raise your green cards. We're going to wait up to 30 seconds so that we're not rushing the virtual vote. But you can, thank you very much. And then we're going to have the opposers. We'll get the virtual vote afterwards. Those opposed, raise your red cards. Okay. It's a close vote. No, I'm just playing. The motion passes to reconsider.
Mike 4.
Mike 4.
Mr. Chair, the virtual 36 yes, 5 no.
Okay, now it passes. Okay.
Mike 4.
Recommendation 3 is now reopened, and I think I recognize Mike 4.
Yes, Doug Maven, New Jersey Conference, Northeastern Episcopal District. In the spirit of the recommendation that we do need to look at church restoration and expansion, that we consider the work being done in conjunction with the Department of Church Growth and Development.
Okay, can you
substitute the recommendation?
Can you okay, tell us again, are you making an amendment, or you explain what you would like done?
Well, I'm asking, can we offer a substitute recommendation that would include the Department of Church Growth and Development to do this work? It's not a motion, it's a recommendation that's coming from the Board of Bishops. So can we offer an alternative recommendation or amend the recommendation?
Now, if I understand you, Dr. Maven, this motion, this recommendation 3, you're wanting to include church growth and development. Is that right? As a part of, can you clarify what it is you?
Either ask them to do the work or work in conjunction with a commission to do the work.
So
that's up to this body.
Yeah, you have to. Do you want to make an amendment or something? You've got to say which way.
Let me
you
offer
want
a
it to be
substitute
done.
motion that this commission function in conjunction with the Department of Church Growth and Development, virtually.
I think you're wanting to amend this. I think amendment might be the proper. Okay, so state I
would like to amend this recommendation to include the Department of Church Growth and Development to work with the commission in the completion of this commission's.
Thank you
work.
so much, Dr. Maven. Is there a second?
Virtually.
Well, is there a second to his motion? Oh, did you say virtually? Who said virtually? Somebody else? You did. Okay, virtually. That's a part of it. All right. Is there a second?
Mike 2.
Mike 2.
Denison Harriel, New Jersey Conference, Northeastern Episcopal District. I would like to second that motion.
All right. It has been properly moved and second that this third recommendation be amended in a way in which church growth and development has a role in this, and the work is done virtually. Is that what you said?
Mike 6.
That's what I understood. Are you?
Mike 6.
Because what we're doing is we're voting on the amendment to this recommendation. Are you ready for the question to amend?
Mike 6.
Mike 6.
If we amend this to come under the umbrella of development and church growth, would they not determine how, because it's under that umbrella, it is already budgeted for the work that they have to do? Would it be, should we allow that group to determine whether they're going to do it virtually or not? If it's going to fall under the umbrella of growth, church growth and development.
So the thing is, one part of the motion you sound in favor of, and the other part that says virtual, you're not in favor of. That's confusing. I don't know what to do with that.
And
because usually somebody's speaking in favor of the motion or opposed to it, but you're
Just
Mike 9.
All right, Mike 9.
Reverend Kemp, Western Episcopal District, Oregon, Washington Annual Conference. My whole intention for first raising the whole issue for reconsideration was to simply add in the requirement that we would have the commission acting virtually. My good friend who made the motion to put it under the umbrella of church growth and development, that's fine. I think it's proper for us to give them the direction to act virtually and not to incur other additional expenses by requiring travel or other stuff going on. I think that's the sense of what we were trying to do.
So are you in
I don't
favor?
see a need to move. I don't think we need to vote on two different issues.
No, I'm saying, are you speaking in favor of the motion? I think you are.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other unreadiness? Any other questions or comments concerning the amendment as stated, which says it will be under church growth and development?
Mike 4.
And they will be encouraged to meet virtually. Is that Mike 4?
Yes, Bishop. Coloma Smith, Eastern West Africa. If I read the language right, it sounds like we're doing a broad-based strategic plan that is going to include every single Episcopal area with hundreds of individuals involved from each and every district. This is going to be a significant undertaking that is beyond the scope of just a department or regular thing. It seemed, as I read it, it said district, annual conference, Episcopal area. So I think this commission should do its work at a strategic level with all these different sources and let church grow through the tactical stuff of teaching and growing.
Are you speaking for or against the motion?
Against.
Okay. Any other unreadiness?
Mike 3, Mr. Chairman, I move the previous question, Greg Smith, New York Annual Conference.
All right. Is there a second? Is there a second?
Mike 4, second the motion. Melanie Miller, Northeastern Episcopal District, New Jersey Conference, I second it.
Is there a second? I need to hear a mic. I need to hear a mic.
Mike 4.
Mike 4.
Mike 4, Melanie Miller, Northeastern Episcopal District, New Jersey Conference, I second the motion.
All right. Now, this motion is to cut off debate. Non-debatable. Those in favor, and it requires 2/3 vote. Those in favor of cutting off debate, on this amendment, let it be known by raising your green card. If you want to cut off debate. All right. Thank you very much. Those who are opposed to cutting off debate, raise your red card. There's no more debate. I will put the question concerning the amendment, which says this will be under church growth and development and that they will function virtually. All in favor, raise the green card. All in favor of the amendment, raise the green card. Thank you so much. Those opposed to the green card, those opposed to the red, those opposed to the amendment, raise the red card. I need help. I need some help up in here. Raise the red card if you're opposed to the amendment. Thank you. I'm running on E. My brain cells are running on E. Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Chair.
Okay, the virtual.
To cut off debate, 30 yes, none voting no.
I'm sorry for not asking for that. I'm sorry. Now
For the
go to
record.
the next one. Yes, I'm sorry for not.
That's okay.
Go to the next one.
And for 24 yes, 7 no.
For the amendment.
Yes, sir.
The amendment passes, and now we're voting on recommendation 3 as amended. which says it will be under church growth and development and virtual. Are you ready for that question? All in favor, raise that green card.
All right.
Thank you so much. Those opposed to that amendment as that recommendation as amended, raise your red card. That recommendation is amended is, oh, well, I'm sorry. We need to hear the virtual.
Virtual 32 yes, 6 no.
Thank you. A motion is adopted as amended. Okay. You got 2 more, right? 6. Number 6, we're talking about the eligibility requirements for the episcopacy. Is there a motion on this recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, Mike 7.
Mike 7.
R.J. Chandler, Philadelphia Baltimore Annual Conference, Mid-Atlantic Episcopal District. I move that we adopt that recommendation.
Mike 4.
Mike 4.
I second it. Victor Wilson, South Atlantic Palmetto Conference. Second the motion.
Thank you. It has been moved and second. The adoption of this 6th recommendation concerning eligibility requirements for the episcopacy. Are you ready for the question?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Okay.
Mike 7, I'm ready.
Mike 7.
Mike 7,
and then
I'm ready.
Mike 3. Mike 7 and then Mike 3.
Yvonne Tracy, Western North Carolina Conference, Piedmont Episcopal District. Currently, we have in our 2016 book of discipline bishop qualifications that I'm sure this will fold into and make the adjustment. What about the information that's not in our book of discipline regarding the indigenous bishops that we're still looking to get published? Will this information apply to those guidelines also?
Thank you for that observation. This certainly will help to augment what we already currently have in the Book of Discipline that expands on the educational aspect. I think, though, that the piece about the indigenous leadership was not a part of this.
Okay, so the indigenous bishops that we will be electing will not have to qualify for these?
Oh, no. Everybody will qualify for that because they were even a part of that.
I'm sorry, Bishop, what are you saying?
I'm saying that when it comes to what I think I'm hearing you say now, this is a universal recommendation that will impact anyone who is seeking the office.
Okay, great. So then when we get our 2020 Book of Discipline, it will show the change in the current bishop qualifications for the domestic as well as the indigenous bishops.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mike 3.
Mike 3, Malcolm Bird, New York Conference. Mr. Chairman, I don't know if this is possible, but I'd feel more comfortable before taking action on this matter if we were to actually have that specific language on the screen, because the recommendations we have on our iPads, it only goes to 4. And if there are other recommendations, goes to 5. If there are other recommendations, they should be on the screen for us to be able to view as well as to hear you read it. But I don't feel comfortable taking action unless we're able to actually have it in our hands or see it on the screen. Thank you.
I think that is a good point, and there are 2 recommendations that are not in this, 6 and 7, correct?
Right.
And I think maybe this can be revisited tomorrow, postponed until tomorrow where we have that on the screen.
I'm totally okay with that, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Great observation.
Mr. Chairman, Mike 2.
Mike 2.
William Johnson, Midwest Episcopal District, Indiana Conference. Given that, Bishop, given that we are out of executive session and the Rules Committee had established a 2-hour limit for our work. We are approaching that 2-hour limit for our regular session, just to give us a hint that we might be at the point of adjourning, given the timekeeper's time.
It was for a break. Now, we've just heard word that the jury may be ready in, what did you say, 2 minutes? All right, so I think it's time to go back into executive session. And let's thank Bishop Larte and the committee for doing a great job, and they'll pick up tomorrow whenever Bishop Proctor lets you. I need a motion.
Mike 9?
Yes. Mike 9.
Mike 9. Moses Thompson, South Mississippi Annual Conference, Southwestern Delta Episcopal District. I would like to make a motion that we enter into executive session to finish said business.
Mike 6.
Mike 6.
Renata Lee, Eastern North Carolina Conference. I second that.
It has been moved and seconded that we return